Hey guys, my name is Laura. I'm one of the nurses from the NHS, and today I would like to share with you one of the best patient nurse experience I've ever experienced. I'm going to talk about one patient I met a while ago back in 2017 when I transferred from elderly care to haematology care. You know, when you start in a new ward, at the beginning, you are supernumerary and you are trying to learn as much as possible how it's working on that ward, and you try to refresh your knowledge about the specialty you are gonna work. That's when I was still extremely new. I first met this patient, the protagonist of this story, that today we can call him, for example, James. As I said, a new Band 5 nurse just starting on the ward. I met this patient, so quite quickly me and half of the service empathized with him because he was more or less my age. He stayed on the hospital a couple of weeks for chemotherapy and transplant, and then he got discharged. Unfortunately, he had to come back some weeks after for a much longer period because he had some complications. And that's when I started to talk more to him and get to know him. He actually had a very hard time in the hospital. I cannot give many details because this is a real case, but this patient was about to die while he was in the hospital. But a miracle happened and a trial drug appeared on his way, improving a lot his situation, in a way that eventually he stopped having complications after his bone marrow transplant. When James got discharged from the ward, he just had to go to the outpatient setting for some reviews. So all the team working on the ward hoped in the best way to not see him again on the ward. Myself and the rest of the team, we were all really happy for him, and we continued working like with the rest of the patients as usual. One day, walking around the city, I was having breakfast, my day off, I was doing the normal stuff, when suddenly someone stopped in front of me and asked me, "Do you know who I am?" At the beginning, it was quite a shock, and I thought I was in a trouble. But slowly I started to recognize him. It wasn't that easy, as when he was in the hospital many months before, he was not on his best shape, and by that time he had changed a lot. I can't express my feelings when I actually realized that the poor guy that spends months lying on the bed on the ward was in front of me, looking healthy and happy. I really felt so pleased for him. It's weird, but by that time, it was a mix. I was surprised and I was feeling so grateful, but also I was feeling kind of relieved that I was seeing him in such a good condition. We sat for a while and we catch up. He was not a patient of my service anymore, so we exchanged numbers so we could talk from time to time. Next day at work, I told to the whole team I saw him, and we were all so excited for him. Days passed, and just a normal Monday, when I was already a bed manager, I went to the outpatient setting and I saw James again. We talked for a bit and I told him that I was leaving because I asked for a career break. I mentioned that I was going to move to the other part of the world, to Colombia. He just wished me the best, and just like that, a month after, I left the country. So what do you think it happened? Eventually, I moved to Colombia, and 5 months after my career break started, guess what? Out of nothing, one random day, I received a text from James. He was going to Colombia, and he remembered that I was going to move to Colombia too, and he was going to the same city I was living in. I couldn't believe it, so I asked him to please arrange a day so we could have dinner in Colombia. That week, my boyfriend and I met him in a restaurant, and what can I say? It was unbelievable. We were at the same time in the other part of the world. He told me he was feeling much better, he started some new hobbies, and he was traveling a lot, and he even started a new job. He explained me how his life changed after all, from feeling extremely poorly in the hospital to be able to live again. He was able to value everything much more, and how grateful he felt. It was such a happy shock seeing him again feeling that well. He continued his trip and adventures as he never had to go through all the hell he had to go through. To be honest, all of this made me think a lot about life in general and my job. James was extremely grateful with the team, and he really thought we saved his life. he was able to give me details that he remembered, that you as a nurse you do automatically. And actually, until he told me that clear how he felt about our job, I didn't think we can have such an impact on someone. Things like listening or hold a hand in a bad moment, it really makes a change. He also mentioned like bigger things that happened while he was in the hospital, and I could remember those things too, but those little details I could not remember, left me out of words. I really love the way this person went through all of this, his philosophy of life. Because surviving a cancer obviously changed your life and also the way you approach the rest of it. Now, James is not going anymore to the hospital and he's having the same problems everyone does. What I mean, he's not suffering anymore the life-threatening problems he used to have. It was such an inspirational experience, and I really hope he keeps doing this well, and I hope every nurse have the chance to see such a progression on a patient, because it changed your way of thinking about nursing and life. As you can see, nursing can be as inspirational as this story, and this is real. This sort of things happens, and I just feel really lucky I've been able to experience something like this. And this is just another of thousands reasons why I love being a nurse. I hope you enjoyed this video. Have a good day.